Ghost of Tsushima is a beautiful game with its stunning visuals and graphics, its crisp gameplay, and its amazing story. It's a story of how a samurai had to choose between his honor and saving the nation. As one of the two remaining samurai that survived the war in Tsushima against the Mongols, he faces a huge task of restoring the rule of the shogun and overthrow the tyrants. The lone samurai who could not be tamed, a lone samurai who could not be defeated. Will he be able to defeat his mighty foe? Let's find out. Without further ado, hit that subscribe button and let's get started with the story of Ghost of Tsushima. The story starts off with the samurai riding on their horsebacks, getting ready to wage war against the invading Mongols. Their numbers are minuscule compared to the Mongol forces, but they show no fear. They send one of their finest warriors to raise fear amongst the opposing force, but unfortunately, he is killed. Both the forces fought, but having fewer numbers proved to be the deciding factor. They fought valiantly, but ultimately were shut down. The leader of the Mongols, Khotun Khan, the grandson of Genghis Khan, asked the leader of the samurai, Lord Shimura, to join his army. But when he declined, Khan took him as a prisoner.
So I'll ask you once again, samurai. Do you surrender?
Meanwhile, Jin Sakai, the nephew of Lord Shimura, is shot in the back with arrows. He laid there as a corpse, waiting to meet his inevitable death. But plot armor and a mysterious woman saved our hero. Her name is Yuna. Waking up after the battle, we find ourselves near a village, burning down and looted by the army of Khotun Khan. Meeting with Yuna, we quickly find out that she is a thief and she sold the sword of Jin to a trader for supplies. She agrees to retrieve it back and help escape the attack. We make our way through the army, hiding and staying out of sight. When we get to the trader's house, we get our sword back. We also get a flashback of Jin training with his uncle, Lord Shimura. Jin's parents were killed when he was young, and his uncle was his only family. Shimura raised Jin as his own son and taught him the ways of the samurai. Returning back, we learn about Yuna and her real purpose for saving Jin's life. Her brother was captured by the Mongols. He was one of the finest blacksmiths in the area, and so the Mongols kept him as a slave to work for them.
You risked your life for them.
They couldn't defend themselves. And I can't let more of our people die.
They're not the only ones who need you. My brother. The Mongols took him.
That's why you saved me.
Taka is my only family.
And Lord Shimura is mine.
Please. I just want my brother back.
After hearing that, Jin said that he will get her brother back after he saves his uncle. Making their way to Castle Kaneda, the place where Khotun Khan currently resides, and keeping Lord Shimura captive, Jin and Yuna fight their way through the Mongol forces. Defeating many of the soldiers, Jin finally met Khotun Khan and fought him. Unfortunately, he was not able to defeat him. Khan threw him into the river, but miraculously, he survived. We are again given a flashback. We see that someone caught Jin's father off guard, and that's how he was able to kill both his parents. Jin was afraid and could not help them, hiding away in a corner of his house. We then traverse back to the morning where Lord Shimura asked Jin to become his new ward.
Tomorrow, you will come to my fortress as my ward. Today, say goodbye to your father.
We wake back up on the shore of the river. Somehow we survived a huge fall without a single scratch. Jin then meets Yuna again. They discussed a plan. Jin had to gather allies and free Yuna's brother, one of the best blacksmiths in the area, to fight against his foes. He can make a tool that could scale the walls of Castle Kaneda. Yuna heads to a village where she hears rumors about a blacksmith which resembles the description of her brother. Jin meets up with her there and finds out that they kept the blacksmith as prisoner in a camp, making him work there to make Mongols new gear. Reaching the camp, Jin and Yuna talked about how to approach it.
If something goes wrong, they'll kill the prisoners. I've seen them do it. We have to go in quietly.
Like thieves.
What's wrong with that?
Before the samurai, this island was ruled by criminals. We changed that by creating order and delivering justice in the open. We live by a code of honor. And sometimes we die by it. Warriors like my father, who just wanted to give us a safer home.
I want the same thing. But we have to fight back.
I promised my uncle I'd never break our code.
Then bend it. To save my family. And what's left of yours.
He was not sure how to approach it. After all, he was a samurai, and throughout his whole life, he was taught that the samurai has to face their foes head-on and never face them without honor.
When we fight, we face our enemy head-on. When we take their life, we look them in the eye with courage and respect. This is what makes us samurai. Only cowards strike from the shadows.
Coming back, Jin and Yuna saved a local who was captured by the Mongols. He said that there were no blacksmith with them, but there was one who got transferred before he was captured. The Mongols took him to Azamu Bay, a heavily guarded area with walls all around it. Getting into the castle will be hard, but Yuna knows someone who could get them inside. Jin and Yuna visits this friend, a trader named Kenji. He sold goods and specifically sake to the Mongols, and so he had permission to visit the castle. The plan was simple. Jin and Yuna would get inside the cart. Kenji would take them inside and they could then infiltrate Asamu Bay. It was a simple plan and it worked perfectly. No one had any suspicions and we entered the fortified town. Upon entering, we see that the whole town had been burned down. Kenji suspected that someone must have angered the Mongols and in retaliation, they tore the city apart, burning it to the ground. We parted ways with Kenji and went on to find Yuna's brother. He was held captive by one of the slavers and would have been killed if we didn't arrive at time. Instead, Yuna kills the slaver and we finally escape. The news spread that the captive had escaped, killing one of the higher-ranked Mongols. So a search party was arranged to find whoever is responsible. We sneaked our way through and met with Kenji, who bought us our horses, helping us to escape.
Lord Shimura, you deserve better than this. Convince your people to stop resisting, and you can walk free. Stop wasting my time. Kill me. You think you've lost everything. But your nephew is still alive. Jin. My men control the roads. They build war camps near your towns. They see everything. And they will find him. Lord Sakai will fight until his last breath. As will I. You love him. Just as you love your people. You're a father to them. Will you abandon your children? I won't make them your slaves.
To reclaim the lands lost to the Mongols, Jin needed to find allies. The clan of Sakai had many allies, and they swore to his father that he could call on them and they would fight alongside us. So we set on a journey to gather our allies. First is Sensei Ishikawa. He is the master of the bow. The people in his village say that he sank a ship with a single arrow.
My lord, are the stories of Sensei Ishikawa true?
What stories?
They say he sank a pirate ship with a single arrow.
Not the ship, but he shot a pirate captain from the shore. Routed the whole fleet.
I'd hate to cross an archer like that.
Do you deserve death?
I hope not, my lord.
Then you're safe from Ishikawa.
He was to join the samurais in the first battle with the Mongols, but he was ambushed by bandits on his way. When we met him, he said that the Mongols have taken his students named Tomoe captive, and so we head to Fort Nakayama. After clearing out the enemies, Jin searches the fort. He finds a survivor who was taking his last breaths.
We're looking for a woman, an archer.
The Mongols caged her with us. But they set her free. Gave her armor and a bow. She killed my wife. And the others.
The bodies we found.
She proved her skill to the enemy. And they recruited her.
she became a traitor. She chose freedom by joining the forces of the Mongols. But it was surprising, as she was trained by one of the most famous samurais, and samurais remain very loyal to the code. But we soon find out that it was because of her sensei that she became a traitor.
I demand an answer.
She attacked me. Not bandits. Tomoe.
Why?
She has no idea what it means to be samurai.
You drove her to the Mongols.
Do not judge me.
Do not lie to me.
Even though he was partially at fault, teaching the Mongols to master the archery style of Ishikawa would be very dangerous, and they could not let that happen. So, Sensei Ishikawa set on a journey to find her and make her answer for her crimes. He also hinted at finding Lady Masako, one more ally for Jin. We made our way to Adachi Estate, where Lady Masako lived. There were signs of battle inside, and no one was to be found. Investigating the site, Jin found out that there were bandits who attacked the estate. Following the trail, we finally meet Lady Masako. She said that their whole family has been killed.
Clan Adachi is dead. Massacred by our own people.
Traitors. Why would they kill those who swore to protect them?
I intend to find out.
They visit the gravesite where she had to bury her clan. She vows to avenge their death, and to do that, both Jin and Lady Masako went to the Golden Temple. She told Jin to talk to Sogen, a temple priest. Talking with him and asking about the massacre of the Adachi clan made him panic. According to Lady Masako, Sogen arrived at the temple at the same time the Mongols invaded. He also visited her house just before the assassins attacked, acting like a scout for them, and her suspicions were correct. Trailing after him, Jin and Masako found the hideout of the assassins. The samurais killed the traitor and went up to Sogen.
You destroyed Clan Adachi.
I was only a messenger.
For who?
Knowledge does not end suffering.
You know nothing of suffering.
Masako.
I buried my family, one by one. It took days. But I'm going to leave you for the wolves.
We need him alive to tell us who he serves.
Our world has changed. Men of vision must rise to face it. And those in the way must be removed.
They were children!
Jin also finds a letter with a clan symbol. They suspect that it was this clan that was behind the assassinations. Just like Ishikawa, Lady Masako also leaves to find out more about this clan, but assures Jin that she would come to his aid when he needs it. Gaining 2 new allies, we head for our third one, the Straw Hats. Led by Ryuzo, he became a mercenary after the war at Komoda. Explaining the situation, Ryuzo agreed to save Lord Shimura if he paid the clan after saving him. In the middle of the conversation, they were ambushed by the Mongols. Although Ryuzo would be down to help the samurai, there was one problem. The clan was starving. They had no food and their numbers went down by half. Ryuzo was searching for food in the jungle where we met him. So Jin decided on a plan.
Was this your wagon?
Yes, my lord. Mongols stole my horse, took my rice.
You're lucky that's all you lost.
Which way did the Mongols go? Toward Fort Ohira. Damn it.
Take refuge at the Golden Temple. Warn others to stay off these roads.
The Mongols took the food from him to Fort Ohira, so there must be more stashed there. With the help of the Straw Hats, Jin would be able to storm the fort and claim it back, raiding the food and supplies for the clan. The team of Jin and what little man left from the Straw Hat clan that were able to fight raided the fort, but there was no food.
Where's all the food? I didn't see any in the tower. Did you find anything?
Just a stack of Mongol papers on a dead officer.
Let me see.
You read Mongolian?
If it's in Chinese, I can make out some of it.
Since when?
Since I had to read Sun Tzu. This was only a temporary depot. They're taking everything. Offshore.
The food was being transported offshore. If they wanted, they need to go to where the ships are. But the docks are far more heavily guarded than the fort. They planned an attack and got onto the boat. They found the food, but unfortunately they were attacked. Fire arrows rained down on them, burning the ship with all the food.
I promised my men I'd feed them, and I'm going back empty-handed.
We'll find another way.
But how many will I lose before then?
I found something that might help. Mongol battle plans.
Do they show supply lines?
One page has a map. It's a start.
Hand it over.
We do this together.
You've got your own problems, and I am the leader. I need this, Jin.
We gathered our allies, but now we needed the blacksmith to keep his word and make a tool that would help in scaling the walls of Castle Kaneda, as without it, all the work Jin did would mean nothing. Jin journeys to Komatsu, the place where the blacksmith and Yuna were staying, but there was an ambush. After defeating the Mongols, we meet with Yuna.
What happened here? Where's Taka?
Hiding with what's left of Komatsu. Mongols came a few days ago. They took prisoners, killed anyone who put up a fight.
Now they're coming back to finish the job. These were just scouts. The main force won't be far behind.
Then we have to go. Now.
We head to the forge, where we discuss to hold our ground and fight the Mongols head-on. Jin asks Taka, the blacksmith, to make the tool he asked for, but Taka needed his assistant to build it and light up the forge. We retrieve him and along the way take more of the villagers with us to the forge where it was safe. The next thing we know, many of the Mongols stormed the fort. We had a fierce fight. Jin fought like no samurai could.
I've never seen a samurai fight like that.
It was nothing.
You are more than a samurai. He is a vengeful spirit, back from the grave to slaughter the Mongols.
Where do we hide now?
You don't. Fire up your forge. And get back to making strong Komatsu weapons. That's how we fight back. That's how we'll save Lord Shimura.
I'm told your nephew stalks my men. Tears them apart, like a beast.
I'm certain you've done worse.
Oh, you pretend we are different. But we fight for the same thing. To create a legacy that outlives us.
I won my legacy with duty and honor. Brought order to my home. And justice for my people. You are nothing like me.
Neither is your nephew. But his name is bound to your legacy.
A legacy is more than a name.
Ah, true. Your family has lived here for generations. Your ancestral castle lies to the north, yes? I look forward to visiting it, while I leave you here to starve to death, alone, without honor.
Taka makes the tool, a hook with a rope attached to it, strong enough to hold Jin's weight, which he can use to swing off trees and climb walls. Ryuzo also arrives at the forge. He said that some of his strongest men were taken captive. Jin and Ryuzo met with the rest of the Straw Hats and ride to the fort where they were prisoned. Jin enters the fort silently, using his new hook, and slays the guard inside. After freeing the Straw Hat crew, he opens the door and a full-on fight with the Straw Hats and the Mongols break out, where the forces of Ryuzo and Jin came out victorious. But a question came to Ryuzo's mind.
It doesn't make any sense.
What doesn't?
My men said the Mongols didn't hurt them. They fed them. Good food, too. No wonder they were singing last night.
Just be grateful they're safe.
Why in all the hells would the Mongols feed them?
Maybe they expected something in return.
I read that samurai follow a path of honor.
It is one of the many differences between us.
Then why have my men found their brothers stabbed in the back?
Lord Sakai would never resort to such tactics.
War brings out who we truly are.
It has made you a dog.
unleashed by your cousin Kublai to rape and pillage at his command.
Your nephew strays from the warrior's path. He will become what you hate, unless you join my empire's fight for peace.
You don't want allies. You want soldiers to overthrow the Shogun.
Consider my offer. Help your nephew regain his honor before his cowardice goes too far. And before I bring you his head.
All the forces gather outside Castle Canada. Lady Masako, Sensei Ishikawa, even Kenji and Taka were there. But there was no sign of Ryuzo and the Straw Hats. The attack could wait no longer. They had to make their move now. So they make a plan.
I'll use my grappling hook to infiltrate the castle. Once I silence the alarm, the rest of you can safely breach the front gate. The Mongols are likely holding Lord Shimura in the main keep. If they sound the alarm, they may execute him.
We can storm the front gates, take them by surprise.
No, we do this quietly. We'll carve a path to the main keep, rescue Lord Shimura, then fall back to the main gate and make our escape.
Sounds like suicide.
Only if we attack head-on. We can do this if we sneak in and catch the enemy while they're sleeping.
Like a thief.
Or a ghost.
The plan to kill them in the dark or assassinate them went against the code of samurais, but they had no choice. Without the army of the Straw Hats, they had to sneak in. The forces of Jin went inside and made quick work of the Mongols. But just when they were about to enter the castle, Ryuzo was there. He was there not to help Jin, but to kill him.
The Khan put a bounty on the ghost. Anyone can claim it.
You wouldn't.
My men are starving, Jin.
Help me save my uncle, and he will reward your men. He will make you samurai.
Then he'll send us to die. Just like he did at Komoda Beach.
Ryuzo?
He's your family, Jin. I need to protect mine.
Jin managed to defeat him and he ran away. Infiltrating the tower, Jin was finally able to save Lord Shimura. The two samurai and their allies break out of the castle, fighting many of the Mongols on their way. The news of Castle Canada falling into the enemy hands did not sit well with Khotun Khan.
You have an impressive home. Won't you welcome me inside? Your people are tired, hungry, cold. Open the gate and save them!
You promised food for my men.
Earn it.
Let them in!
No! Open the gate! Open the gate!
At the same time, Lord Shimura and Jin were planning to fight back. They ride to a lighthouse where they signal the return of the samurais. We also get a brief explanation of why Yuna did not really like Lord Shimura.
I put down the Yarikawa rebellion. Its people have no love for me.
I know. I grew up there.
Is that where you learned to steal?
Yuna has great admiration for you, Lord Shimura. She can convince her people to fight under your banner.
Very well. Help Lord Sakai raise this army, and you will be on the first transport to the mainland.
With my brother.
Jin is set with 3 new tasks. One is to send a message to the shogun in the mainland, second is to reclaim the armor of Jin's father, and last is to unite the people from Yarikawa, the place where Yuna is from. We go to Goro, a pirate who had a debt to Lord Shimura. Lord Shimura caught the pirate and burned down his goods, but set him free. To honor his debt, he was tasked to deliver a message to Shogun to ask for reinforcements. Jin meets with Lord Shimura again and distracts the Mongol to make way for Goro to set sail to the mainland with as little resistance as possible. The 2 samurais also provided cover fire for the ship as it makes its way through the waters. Next up is retrieving the armor of Jin's father. It is said to be worn only by the greatest warriors, and now it's our time to wear it. We venture into Jin's house and find Yuriko, who was the caretaker of Jin when he was young. She takes Jin to his father's grave and readies up the armor for us. After wearing the armor, Jin asks about poisons that Yuriko had been using to kill the rodents and pests. He asks whether she could make them stronger, strong enough to kill a man.
Poison has never been the Sakai way.
No Sakai had to fight the Mongol Empire. I need every weapon we have. Tsushima can't afford anything less.
The Mongols have changed you, young master.
The world has changed.
My mother taught me about plants that heal, others that harm, even kill. But they must be consumed. How will you poison the invaders?
A blowgun and darts. I've read of their use by a Genji warrior who studied with monks from the west. Will you help me?
Promise me you'll remain the good man I know.
I promise.
She agrees. We collect the herbs and she makes us a new type of poison that can subdue a person using blow darts. Finally, we start our final objective, to unify the people from Yarikawa to fight against the Mongols. Reaching the outer walls of the town, we find Yuna along with many people stranded. They couldn't go inside the town gates because the Mongols surrounded it. Jin, Yuna and Taka enter through a secret passage and meet with the clan leaders. He said that he would never help someone from clan Shimura, and especially not Lord Shimura himself. To prove that the Mongols possessed a greater threat than their personal quarrel, we found the archer from Yarikawa that went on a mission, saved their members who were captured by the Mongols, and fought the invading army. The people from Yarikawa raised against this mighty foe, and with their courage, they were able to defeat the Mongols and drove them away. Jin then asked the people to stand with him against Khotun Khan, the leader of the Mongols.
We saved your town. Now, we help Lord Shimura save our island.
We are not soldiers.
Who killed these Mongols? Who stood against the siege? Who saved Yarikawa? We did.
You can't just stay here and wait for the Mongols to try again.
You say you are not soldiers. You are warriors. We can defeat the invaders and save our home, but only if we stand together.
Ryuzo commanded a small army of the Straw Hats. He betrayed the samurais and the land. He joined the Mongols. Even though he was a childhood friend of Jin, he had become too big of a problem to be left alone. Lord Shimura's spies intercepted a message about Ryuzo and got his location. Jin rides alone to his camp to get rid of him. While surveying the area, he was joined by Taka. Jin asked him to stay out of this, but he was adamant and wanted to help his lord. They devised a plan where Taka would just act as a decoy, pulling a few of the soldiers out of the camp to even out the playing field. It worked perfectly. Jin made his way to the inner part of the camp and met with Ryuzo, but it was all a trap. One of the Straw Hats hit him in the head from behind, knocking him out. When we wake back up, we also find Taka captured as well. Taka got worried that Jin did not return after several hours. He went to check on him, and that's where he was captured. After a small talk, Khotun Khan arrives.
Join me and save them.
You want to divide and conquer.
You did it, Ryuzo. Not us.
Oh. Your legend does not even care about you. If you kill him, you can go.
Run.
Yuna arrives at a camp where she finds her poor little brother's decapitated body. She was devastated and angry. After fighting the combined army of the Straw Hats and the Mongols, Yuna and Jin bury Taka's body, and Yuna sworn to avenge his death by fighting the Mongols. In all this chaos, Ryuzo managed to escape with the Khan. We enter the final stretch. All the forces have gathered to ride for the final battle. The reinforcements that Lord Shimura requested from the Shogun had arrived. Sensei Ishikawa, Yuna, Lady Masako, everyone was ready. We, along with Lord Shimura, ride for battle. The next sequence is one of the best parts. There is a small-scale war between the forces of the samurai and the Mongols. When checking on what lies ahead, Jin fires 2 shots of poison dart to terrorize the Mongols, which worked, but when Lord Shimura saw it, he said that there was no honor in fighting that way.
What are you doing?
Clearing the way.
Not like that. Never like that. Face them as a warrior with honor, not a monster.
It's all they understand.
Terror is not the weapon of a samurai.
We pushed ahead, but a cart with explosives set on fire blew up the bridge and blocked the way. As samurais were full of honor, Shimura decided to wait until dawn, but Jin was against it.
Gather our best soldiers. We will repair the bridge and attack at dawn.
No. We've lost too many. If you had listened to me...
Enough!
There is another way.
We will discuss it alone.
He defied direct orders from Lord Shimura and entered the castle at night. He sneaked through the enemy defenses and poisoned everyone. Entering inside the castle, we find Ryuzo, who offers to help. He said that he was the one who argued with Koden Khan to save Jin's life. He was the one who saved him from inevitable death. But after Taka's death, his words were meaningless to Jin. They fought and Jin came out victorious. After this, Lord Shimura finds out about the eggs of the ghost, Jin Sakai. He asked Jin to blame Yuna, to say to the people that she deceived us in using these methods to defeat the enemy, to say that Jin was his son and would never throw away his honor.
Be remembered.
He defended us!
By spreading fear and chaos.
We are at war.
And you are acting like the enemy. This is not our way.
Your way can't save our people.
After this, he was captured for what seemed like a few days, until Kenji broke us out. He said that Yuna was waiting for him due north by the sacred tree. We sneaked through the defenses and reached our horse. As we were about to ride away, an archer saw us and shot an arrow on the back of the horse. What followed were a bunch of arrows which hit our horse. The next scene was one of the saddest moments for me. Our loyal companion, the one who stayed with us, carrying us on his back, our horse, died like a true hero, carrying us through the enemy territory even when he was shot multiple times on his back.
I'm sorry I couldn't protect you.
We walked to our destination and go to the place where Yuna said she would be. Unfortunately, the Mongols got there first and burned down the village. As Jin was searching for Yuna, he was shot in the back by a poison arrow, the same poison Jin used on the Mongols during their battle. They somehow learned to make the recipe. Yuna did manage to save us though. After waking up, we scout out the Jogaku temple. There were many monks and refugees that lived there after the Mongols attacked the lands, but they got hold of it too. Yuna and Jin made quick work of the force and recaptured it, making it their new safe house to rest and plan their next steps. Yuna asked Jin to find Takeshi. She said that he was a hunter and led a small group. They could help regain Fort Kaminodake from the Mongols. But the hunters were not keen on sacrificing their lives for a samurai. Jin had to promise them shelter from the intense cold inside the fort until spring. The hunters liked this agreement, and so the forces of Jin and the hunters rushed into the fort. They were joined by Yuna, Lady Masako, Sensei Ishikawa, Kenji, and the warrior monk Norio. Together, they were able to defeat the Mongols inside the fort. Their next step was to stop Khotun Khan. He was planning to take the mainland, just like he did Tsushima. But now, he also had poison, which he could use to bring down massive armies. They had multiple barrels of it stacked in their ships, along with explosives. They planned to sail there, but due to a storm incoming, the plans were delayed. This gave our heroes enough time to plan an ambush and stop Khotun Khan. Although the size of the army is significantly lower after the countless losses in battle, the Mongol army is still a large force. They needed the help of the samurais, and so Jin went to the Shimura castle inside the camp of his former allies, now turned enemies, to deliver a message to Lord Shimura, asking for his help. He may not be Jin's father anymore, but Shimura also wanted Khan gone. They shared a goal, and even though Jin is now the enemy, the Mongols posed a much greater threat. The stage of the final battle is set. Fort Izumi is where the fate of the participants would be decided. The forces of Jin set up an ambush. They used Mongol weapons against them and took over the port. Even the samurais backed him. Jin then finally meets with Khotun Khan and a fight breaks out. Just when Jin was gaining the upper hand, Khan threw sand or some kind of powder into Jin's eye, blinding him for a second, which let him escape. He went to his boat, which had all the explosives and the poison. Jin follows him there, defeating many of the enemies along the way. The last fight is between the Mongol along with Khan. Jin finally defeats Khan, killing him in the process.
We will be remembered forever.
No, you will be forgotten.
But the boat contained massive amounts of explosives, and due to the battle, there was massive amounts of fire arrows shot on the boat, causing it to catch fire. Jin narrowly escapes by jumping in the water. After the battle, Yuna tells Jin the war is now over, the leader is dead, and the samurai reign victorious. Yuna tells Jin a messenger came to them from Lord Shimura, asking Jin to meet him. Jin complies and meets him while Lord Shimura trained Jin when he was younger.
I will miss this.
So will I. The Shogun has declared you a traitor.
He ordered you to kill me.
The Ghost was an outlaw. He taught our people to defy their leaders.
To defend themselves.
With poison. A gift you gave to our enemy.
I had to stop you from throwing away our people's lives.
You have no honor.
And you are a slave to it.
You are my son. Now I must continue the line of Shimura without you. I must start a new family.
And my head is the cost.
Taking it is my punishment. Our final day together. It is beautiful. It's time. Write the last words of Clan Sakai.
And Clan Shimura.
Your parents will always be with you.
Yes, Uncle.
I will train you to become the strongest warrior Clan Sakai has ever known. I will raise you as my own son. Are you ready?
I am ready. I will make sure you are remembered as a great warrior, a wise leader, and a father.
Thank you, my son. Find me in the next life.
I will.
If you enjoyed this video and want more such content, hit the like and subscribe button. See you in the next one.